mindful of with this team when the minutes are getting, a lot of people are playing a lot of minutes right now?
Oh yeah, I think again, and we're very confident in the 9 that we have, but how it's worked out here, 7 have probably gotten a little bit more time from game to game. But yeah, Dan, we have to make sure that we're in practice, that we're mindful of our time and what we do. I mean, we practice still at a good intensity rate, so we have to pay attention to the length of practice and make sure that we don't grind too much on with the numbers that we have, but still get done what we need to get done. And there's a good balance in there. And then also our game management minutes. That's very, very important, that we kind of pay attention to who's going longer minutes and we get people sufficient rest and get them blows in the action, because as hard as we're playing right now, which we want to, and we think we can play even a little harder, that's important to get people rest, because there's a point where they do just get tired.
Are you concerned long term with this because you've got so many young kids, freshmen, even a couple sophomores playing larger roles than last year, about the hitting the wall or something like that? Or?
We certainly think about it, but at the same time, we look at what the alternative is, and we're not going to compromise on how we need to play and how hard we need to play in order to get where we want to go. So we're certainly mindful of it, and we do pay attention to it. But at the same time, we also know that in order to be in that elite group of teams, which we're pushing towards now, we feel we're still not there, but we're kind of pushing towards that. We have to play at an incredibly high level of intensity. So what we try to do is put a lot of that on us as a coaching staff and say, make sure the rotations are good and the rests are good. But yeah, there's certainly a concern in that. I mean, every time somebody goes down in a practice, we all hold our breath. We look at each other, we look at the trainers, we hold our breath, because we can't afford right now to get somebody else hurt. We're going to be real pleased when Sierra Burdick can come back into the fold again and make it an even 10.
We're talking about Izzy. She was talking about fouls, and foul trouble is something that's maybe more of a concern in this situation.
Right.
Well, how do you advise players, because you want them playing hard, like you say? I mean,
you do. Again, something that we've done kind of all along, but here more so. We've watched tape. We talk about playing intelligently. Through the course of playing hard and how we play, you're going to pick up some aggressive fouls. Like we tell players all the time, if you crash the boards and you go over somebody's back, or you dive for a loose ball and there's some contact and you get a foul on that, you may be driving the lane, you're going to charge occasionally. Those are fouls. What we want to avoid are the silly fouls, the reaching at 40 feet away, going for a steal and knocking somebody out when you have no chance to make that play. So those are the things. We just talk about playing a little more intelligently. And so we've watched a lot of tape with our team and with players individually to do that. And again, we'll sometimes during a dead ball or breaking the action, if somebody has picked up an early foul, maybe sometimes on the bench one of the coaches will say, now be careful, now just be smart, still play hard, but be smart. So we're just trying to remind them verbally and then also watching tape.
Coach, being on the road, at South Carolina, and then coming and playing, a team like Georgia and being shorthanded, were you surprised at all with just how you guys came out in the second half and basically crushed both of those teams?
I can't say that we're ever surprised when we do that, where, the feeling of being pleased at a performance like that probably overrides that. But we had great respect for both those teams. Those are two very good basketball teams. They're going to win a lot of games. South Carolina's going to win a lot of games. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament. Georgia's going to do the same thing. Both teams have a chance of going fairly deep into the tournament, we believe. So we had a lot of respect for those teams. And we just focus so much on how we're playing, and kind of what I said a moment ago, it's the effort level. It's the intensity level, it's the energy level. We want to play hard. We want to play at a very high level in those areas. And if that's happening, we feel the byproduct is going to be good. So that's really, I can tell you at halftime, people have asked, what did Holly say? Well, she just focused on effort and the effort level picking up and getting to where it needed to be.
Can you remember the last time you had to prepare for a team that relies on the three as much as this team?
No, we were just talking about that. There's no mistake in those stats. They attempted 36 threes against Auburn, made 18 of them. They had one player go 11 of 18 from the arc. It's incredible. We have not faced a team to date like that, and certainly not this year. And I'm trying to think back in the last couple of years, and in my memory right now, I can't think of a team that shoots it that proficiently. So this is a whole different look than the last two games that we played, and we're going to have to adjust very, very quickly. Their motion, they run such good motion. They set multiple screens. You're going to see multiple cuts. I watched a clip where they had one time they had 7 screens in a 30-second possession. That's incredible. That's really running offense and putting you through a meat grinder. So again, we have to do a great job of getting into shooters, and our ball pressure is huge. If we don't pressure the ball, this team can really hurt you.
I didn't see the box score when they played Georgia, but they beat Georgia. I mean, they lost to Georgia by about 30.
Yeah.
Is that that like indicative to their team's talent, or just maybe it was off day or something?
Well, and here again, two things. Georgia's pressure, wore them down a little bit in their depth, but also one of the things about jump shooting when you rely on the threes a lot is sometimes, you live and die by the sword. You can be very hot and you can just blow people out and shoot it very, very well. And then those nights where it's not going well, and then you get behind a little bit and you might press and start forcing some shots, that can also kind of hurt you. Now, we hope to get a game like that, but we also know that they're awful darn good, and we're going to have to help. Georgia helped make that score what it was, and we're going to have to do the same thing with our pressure.
Thanks.